through what is a very difficult time after an election defeat, or to throw my hat into the ring for the leadership. And I think that my duty and my responsibility as deputy leader was to step forward as acting leader, because although we've been defeated in the general election, we're not demoralised, we're very determined, and I think that this is a very crucial period. And we've got 5 fantastic candidates, all of whom would make excellent leaders of the party, and we don't know which one's going to win.
Well, you have got 5 candidates, but 4 of them are men and 1 Diane Abbott's a woman. You've spent all your political career, certainly in the House of Commons, arguing that women should be more prominent in politics, and your candidate, as well as the candidate you nominated, Diane Abbott, is still seen as the outsider in this race, which is why I come back to one, wouldn't it have been healthier from your perspective to have a senior, more mainstream, if I can put it that way, female candidate?
Well, I think whatever happens after the leadership election, and we're unveiling our new leader on September the 25th, on the Saturday of our conference, whatever happens, I'll be in the leadership team as deputy, so we won't have an all-male team at the top. And I would discount all the talk about who's the outsider and who's the front runner, because I think that political party elections are very, very difficult for people to predict, and actually nobody knows who's going to win. And as Diane said herself, she's going to give the boys a good run for their money.
Do you think there should be wider changes in the way Labour presents itself to the country in terms of gender?
Well, I think it is very good that, and one of the reasons why I did nominate Diane is I don't think we want to see an all-male leadership race, and I think that it's going to be a much broader, better debate for that. But I also think
Shadow
that...
Cabinet.
I think that, and I have put forward a proposal, because we're going to establish some new rules about how we elect the Shadow Cabinet, how the PLP elect the Shadow Cabinet, and I've put forward the proposal that there should be half men and half women. I mean, that's the situation in the country as a whole. It's 50% men and 50% women. And actually, I think a balanced team of equal numbers of men and women is better decision-making than actually a majority of men.
But given there are far more male MPs than female MPs on the Labour benches, do you think that's a runner as an idea? Do you think the party might go for that?
Well, I hope so, and it's for the PLP to vote before the House rises for the summer. We've got 81 Labour women MPs. We've got a higher percentage of women MPs than we've ever had before. We've got some excellent, experienced hands, and we've got some very good, bright new women. So there's no excuse not to have 50-50. So I'm hoping I'll be able to persuade my colleagues that actually equality is what Britain in the 21st century expects. They don't expect men to have the lion's share of the say, and they want men and women to work together, because women and men still lead quite different lives, although we believe in equality, and there are things like childcare, family-friendly employment, which are much higher up the agenda for women than they are for men.
There's a sense that a lot of people in the Labour Party around you feel that the new government is dumping even more on your economic failures, which were considerable, perhaps, than you deserve. I can see sort of smoke coming out of Alistair Darling's ears as I read the papers. He's clearly squaring up for a big fight over this. So, you know, we're going to be facing cuts. The country seems to accept that and indeed be in favour of these cuts. What's the Labour Party's position going to be over the next few months?
Well, I think that we always recognised that after public money had to be spent supporting the economy through a global economic crisis, that we would need to bring the deficit down. But I think the country accepts bringing the deficit down, but I don't think it's true to say that the country accepts whole-scale cuts in public services. I don't think that they accept the idea that you withdraw important investment, public investment in industry, and I'm glad we've been able to press David Cameron to continue with the tens of millions of pounds that we were putting into Nissan for their new green car. And I think, you know, the irony is they talk about the deficit, cutting the deficit, the Tories, but they're still planning to go ahead with the married man's tax allowance. So I think that what they're doing is they're trying to make out that the deficit is worse than it is as a pretext to go ahead with cuts in public services, but at the same time they're still offering to cut taxes, and we're going to hold them to account on
it.
It
sounds a bit business as usual, all of this. I just wonder to what extent you think the Labour Party has to rethink the kind of organisation it is, its connection with all those voters who didn't come out for you this time, and the way it's organised and the way it does politics.
Well, of course, it's right that we should take, now is the time to do that. But we're not going to rethink our commitment to ensuring that top of the agenda is ensuring that we don't have